Parallel Frequencies with Just Blane and Coco out there on Movie Monday. So that means we just passed the weekend, Coco.
Yeah.
What'd you get into? What'd you do? You did a lot. I saw some of your social posts.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
I jam-packed all this treat yourself energy into a week, getting ready for my birthday this week. Oh, I forgot my tiara. You'll see me in tomorrow's show. I'll wear my tiara all week.
Okay, yeah, you got to do that.
Yeah. I did like a sound bath in a salt cave. Then I did a salt float, which we've done at Pure Sweat and Float before. We talked about that on other shows.
Yeah.
Those freaks that know. But I did it at a new place. Evolve Wellness also has a float tank. So I did that there. I did a breathwork session. Super powerful stuff. And then a group ketamine session yesterday.
Man.
So I've been floating in the ether all week, just not even present, not even here.
You're here, but you may not be. You're somewhere else. Is that what's happening here?
A little bit.
I mean, the freaks out there know how that is. Most of our freaks probably they live out in the ether somewhere anyway, right? That's probably
You're my people. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my weekend wasn't that exciting. I watched Survivor. Finally, that was it.
Yeah.
That's all I did.
What'd you think?
Let me tell you right now, Survivor 50, gonna be amazing. You got all these people in there. They're fangirling, fanboying out for each other. Yet, they're already playing a game. Like, they're in there like, hey, let's get so-and-so out. They're name dropping. And then I start watching it, and I was like, you know what? This guy looks familiar. And it was Mike White is his name. And I'm sure they're all familiar. But this guy was in Survivor 20 years ago, I think. And Mike White, you might recognize his name. He wrote and directed The White Lotus. And he went back and he did Survivor 50. He don't have to be there. So they're all fanboying, fangirling out, having fandom about White Lotus to him, saying it's incredible. And he's like, yeah, I'm just here. I love doing this. I want to play Survivor. And I'm glad I got to step away from the White Lotus to do it. And I was like, whoa, that's awesome. Like, how do you have these two different... Yeah, I didn't realize it was him until they started talking about it. And Jeff Probst mentions it. He brings it up. He's like, hey, the White Lotus, you know, and everybody's excited about it. But you got former winners. You got all this stuff going on. I said I'd make a prediction after that first episode. I can't because it's tough.
The tight competition.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. I can't wait to see. They get the most people they've ever had. I think it's 24. I mean, they got one from each season previous, one from each year previous, because it's been 24 years and 50 seasons. But yeah, I'm pumped if you can't tell. Like, this is up my alley. Like, I want to be on Survivor. And it's real cool because they got a girl on there who they filmed Survivor months previous. It's not live. It's not happening right now. If anything, there's a new season happening right now being taped. Mm-hmm. But what happens is they wrapped up season 49, and then 2 weeks later is when they started taping season 50. The person who won season 49 is on season 50. So so she's playing against all of these veterans, and they don't know who she is. And they're like, she's got to be here for a reason. And she tells them, hey, I played last season, which was 2 weeks ago. And it's cool to see that kind of dynamic play out because they don't know her. They don't know what her game is like. And yet that girl was just cutthroat. Savannah, I think's her name. She was so cutthroat in season 49 that she won the damn thing. And she's going in. But yeah,
she's got an advantage then because they don't know her.
They don't know her, and she just played. So at this point, when we're watching her, she literally just got done playing an entire 39 days out there in the jungle on an island. Like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Movie Monday. Something else crazy to me. The Favorite, spelt with a U.
Let's kick off our Women's History Month and appreciating women. I picked a lot of great titles for this month specifically centered around women. So this is a great one to kick it off with. Just saying.
It is. And on that note, with Women's Month, and you got International Women's Day coming up this weekend, I believe. I believe it's March 8th, Sunday. Is that Sunday?
think so.
Seems about right. It's close
Saturn?
enough. It's somewhere. But it's Women's Month. Yeah, but it's Women's Month, like you said. That's legitimate, and we do it right here. I've done it right my entire career, and I'm not going to sit here and brag about it, but you can go look and check out some of the stuff I did on Apple Music Hits with George Strombolopoulos, Bob Makowitz, that whole team, Raquel Messina, Emmy, love them guys. But we did a lot for Women's History Month and brought a bunch of people on and dedicated our show to that. So this is not new to me. The content we're talking about might be new, and I love the movies that not only you picked out, but I threw some in there too, because I love some good women revenge movies, like Kill Bill. That's one of my tops. And the whole Bloody Affair just came out, so you can damn well bet we're going to be talking about that one pretty soon. But there's so many movies out there that need to get this respect, and so many women out there, actors. I don't. You notice I don't say actresses. They're all actors to me. Everybody's an actor. Yes, I don't say that, and that's what I see. And in this movie that we're going to talk about today, The Favorite with a U, I have to keep pointing that out because honestly, if you look it up,
favorite.
Yeah. If you look it up as The Favorite, you're going to find a couple other movies, and this ain't it. We're talking about the one that's got Olivia Colman, Rachel Weisz, Emma Stone. I'm talking about pure powerhouse women, actors. And it's a movie that is, it feels like somebody spilled tea in slow motion and they blame you. It's kind of like that. Like, you know, like, am I right?
You did it. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's it.
Uncomfortableness. Yeah.
If you look at this on the cover and you're thinking, a fancy British period piece, drama, whatever. No. This is more like the high society Hunger Games with corsets. That's what this movie is. I don't think I'd ever seen this movie till now. If I had, I hadn't remembered it. So I'm glad you put it on the list. Straight off the top, though, you got Olivia Colman as Queen Anne. And she's fragile, moody, grieving, desperate for love, surrounded by rabbits, by the way, that represent her dead children. And the rabbits play a huge part, too. And I know you're going to go in deep to that. But, yeah, there's no real easing into this thing.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Like, go ahead, Coco. Yeah.
I'm a big period piece fan. I love things that take you back, and I'm a big fan of the monarchy, of researching the history of the monarchy, and that a lot of great rulers of Great Britain and England have been Queen Elizabeth I, Victoria. I'm really into that because we've had some really great queens. To give an example of lasting monarchy, like that they've been the longest reigning in history. And so it was interesting to get another perspective on Queen Anne. Although not a lot of this was historically accurate, we can kind of pick apart, you know, what was real, what wasn't. The rabbits being one thing that was taken some license with, because rabbits were not pets back in the 1700s. In that time period, they were either food or pests. That's it. They were not kept as pets. So that's definitely a little bit of a stretch for being able to represent it as a symbol rather than it being accurate. But I love the licenses they took just to show us, because a lot of times these period movies like this don't get into the nitty gritty of what life was actually like in the palace at that time. A lot of times it's romanticized, right? We get the costumes, the traditions. It's all a little bit flamboyant. It's kind of fun. In this case, it was probably more realistic in that it gave you that ick feeling of probably a lot of them didn't bathe for probably months on end. We're not told exactly how that works, but you're given kind of that feeling of like Emma Stone coming in and being a maid at first, and she's getting to see the real behind the scenes of being a servant in the palace, and she's sleeping on a hard floor with rats, with people coughing around her everywhere. And it definitely gave you that feeling of like things were not luxurious. They were... Which...
Like you said, that's more realistic, because I don't think they would have been. I think it would have been kind of dirty, grimy, this type of stuff. Rachel Weisz comes in as Lady Sarah Churchill, and then, like you said, Emma Stone is Abigail. And You've got 3 women in one throne, no swords for once. Like, we don't need, it's not Game of Thrones stuff.
Don't need it.
But they got just pure strategy.
Yep.
And I think that would have been very accurate back then in that day too, because this is what they did. I mean, you see politics today. It's people are still doing this stuff. They're still.
I know. You'd think we'd see through it by now, like the flattery, the little games and things. I mean, I feel like when you're watching Abigail do her thing, and she knows how to play this game. I mean, in reality, Abigail, who is Sarah's cousin, would have been working for her long before when this movie is showing. So it kind of portrays her as coming in as an unknown and then trying to get a job. That probably wasn't true in reality. She probably was already working for Sarah, but she did come from a background of she had fallen from grace, right? Like her family's loss of income and titles. So she's trying, she has motivation and probably the skills to do it, to move up in the ladder, to be able to figure out how does she get the queen's favor and how does she use that to her advantage to get her title back as a lady, to get an advantageous marriage, if you will, to, what was his name? Masham? Or, anyway, Lord. One of the guys with the nice, beautiful wigs and the powdered cheeks and all of the things that were going on at court at that time.
I love that look. And Abigail's rise, like she started down in the dirt, literally.
Mm-hmm. Literally.
And then she climbs. So we get to see all this. First, you're rooting for her. You want her to escape, get away. But slowly, like I said earlier, she becomes colder, sharper, detached. Power doesn't just reveal who you are. Sometimes it reshapes you. And I think that's what happens to Abigail here. She's not free. She's trapped in the position that she fought for. And that brings up a question. Is winning always winning? Because it looks like she wins, but did she really? What do you think?
And it's also so fragile, too. I mean, you can see that in that Sarah Churchill, Rachel Weisz's character, is the favorite. She is, I don't know what the word is, blessed enough to be able to actually speak her mind and be the one person who can be honest with the queen and say whatever it is she has to say, but maybe got too comfortable because she believed her position by the queen to be unbreakable. Like, I'll never fall out of favor because I've already established myself here. Where Abigail's little ticking away at her image and the trust that the queen has in her, it just works its way little by little to create that wedge between them. And then Abigail has to realize that her position is also fragile. Even if she has the queen's favor now, she's going to have to work hard to keep it, because she makes one little mistake, like suggesting that maybe Lord Marlborough, Sarah's husband, has been stealing from the treasury. And realizes that the queen does not fall into that, does not, no, absolutely not. That's not true. And it creates a little bit of, ooh, I hit the wrong button. You can see that Abigail's like, oh, I said the wrong thing, and now I've got to make up for it somehow. I mean, that's never for sure.
But I think this really goes to the big dynamic, the big picture here. I love that this story is centered entirely on women. The men are just background noise. But this is what I'm saying is it shows how emotional intelligence is weaponized. And that's what these women are doing. There's no one here that's purely a villain or a hero. They're just survivors.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it kind of uncomfortable, because we see the pieces of ourselves in all 3 of these, whether you're man or woman, when you're watching this. Hunger, the insecurity, the need to be picked, chosen.
Yeah.
Like, they've all got that, but it's all wrapped up into emotional intelligence, which a lot of men don't have. I'll be the first to admit. So,
yeah, usually the only emotion that they feel comfortable enough to express is anger, and that's where we get a little bit of an issue with the way society has developed that. But it's definitely, it kind of shows you not only in that period of time, And there's enough period pieces to show you that that same dynamic can happen with a king. I mean, we look at the Tudors, right? We look at Anne Boleyn. I mean, what role did women have in politics, in any way, shape, or form in society? It was to throw themselves at the mercy of being a favorite, being liked, being chosen in that way. So, yeah, you're going to have to play the game. If you aren't a pawn as a woman, you're nothing. And that didn't change when you replace it from king to queen. I mean, here we have Queen Anne, but they still have to play that game. And you see how much power Rachel Weisz's character, the Sarah Churchill, she has the ear of the queen. Therefore, she's making decisions in Parliament. And that's the only way that a woman could have that power, is if she has that relationship with the queen.
That in. She's got that in. Yeah. And you're right. Like, they're playing chess here. Like, compliments are chess moves. Touch is leverage. Tears are negotiation. They know what they're doing. They are literally playing 4D chess here. There's a Star Trek reference for you, 4D chess. Remember that? Yeah. But they're playing that, and it's nerve-wracking pretty much the whole time. Like, you're like, well, like you said, like I said earlier, there's no real good guy, bad guy, good woman, bad woman. There's none of that.
They're just using the tools they have at their disposal, right? And you can't blame them for that. Although, for me personally, watching it, I think to myself, I consider myself a pretty intelligent person. For the most part, I think my intelligence is rivaled. I have a college education. I can hold my own. But I don't think I would do well in that situation whatsoever. Because I don't have what it takes to manipulate people. I am really more about being honest, and I'd really rather just say what I'm thinking or what I need and see if I can get it. And that's pretty much all I've got to my disposal as far as that goes. I have the ability to listen. I have the ability to connect, but I don't have that
cutthroat.
The cutthroat thing. Yeah, I would not do well. I would be like, ooh, you guys go ahead. I'll just find my little house in the country. Maybe I can set myself up nice there and stay out of it.
I mean, you are a witch, so I could see that. I mean, the witch lives on the outside of town in a cottage somewhere, so...
Yeah, I'd be burned or hanged for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I have no ability to be like, I'm just over here making nice little potions. It's fine. I don't have
Let's talk about the look of this movie, because we did say it was dirty and very realistic, we would think. But let's talk about why. And it was the wide-angle lenses, the fisheye distortion, if you notice some of that stuff. Yeah. It made this palace look both giant but claustrophobic at the same time. And that's great filmmaking. And you got excessive beauty and velvet swallowing people whole, candlelight. Like, this movie, if it didn't win an Oscar, it should have for set design or something, because underneath all the beauty, you could still feel the loneliness that they were trying to portray. And I think that's almost, it's beautiful in its own, but this movie feels like you're walking through a museum where every painting is judging you. It's looking at you. But that's what it felt like on the set here. What did you think about where they filmed it at here?
Yeah, I always fantasize about royalty, or what it would be like to live in a palace, or, you walk around these beautiful halls. And having been to England and just seeing, and this was supposedly taking place in Kensington Palace, though I've been to Kensington Palace. It wasn't filmed there, so it doesn't look to me like Kensington Palace. But I love being in those spaces and just imagining what it would be like to have, the big corsets and gowns and walking around, and there were balls and there were holding court and all of those things. It's really fascinating to me. But this made me feel very much like what it probably really feels like, which is just, like you said, the claustrophobic feeling of like someone's watching you around every corner. Yeah. Your every movement is judged. It's not as clean as you would imagine. So it didn't feel to me like the idealistic palace feeling. It was more like, ugh, it feels trapped. I would love to get on that horse and go out into the woods and go riding with them like they did in the movie.
Yep.
Much more open and free.
And this movie was directed by Yorgos Lanthimos. And it was nominated for a couple Oscars. I did look it up, but just nominated. The only winner was Olivia Colman. She won
So deserving.
for Best Performance by an actress in a leading role, which I still... We get it. They have to still determine and this was in 2019 she won for this. But it was nominated for, the picture of the year, set design, and all the other stuff. I don't know what beat it on set design and costume design. Maybe I'll have to look up to that. Maybe our freaks will tell us what won 2019's Oscar that would have been better than this, because that's tough. This is a tough one to beat.
Competition. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I loved reading about the costume design too, and that they used fabrics that were not actually accurate to the time. There was denim jeans you can see in the servants' clothing. So I noticed that all of these dresses, although they were period styles, were monochromatic. There's like black and white, redone in different ways. At one point, I'm pretty sure that Sarah Churchill is wearing the exact same dress that Abigail wore, almost showing them switching places. I don't know if that was intentional, but that's the symbolism that I got from it. And just the choices in that. I love to see. I'm always thinking about those things behind the scenes. What choices were the costume design making? And by the way, the costume design was done for this movie and for Mary Poppins Returns at the same time, both of them getting nominated for the same person.
Sandy Powell is the one. Sandy Powell's the one that did it, the costume design. That's incredible. Look at you over there pulling out the knowledge like that. I love that.
Did it.
And let me tell you something else about Yorgos and the genius of what he did here, because look at the humor, and you gotta not ignore how funny this movie is. It's a dark humor. I mean, you got duck races, men pelting each other with fruit, and deadpan insults delivered like royal decrees. It's absurd, but it never feels silly.
No.
And that's what the beauty and the genius of Yorgos is, to me. That stood out. Yeah, and I think it'd be hard. That's a hard line to toe here. Of trying to be a dark comedy and a period piece and a drama and all this other stuff. Great job, though. Great job. Yeah,
it was right up the alley for Olivia Colman. I think that was perfect role for her and how she played it. Everything. I think that's what drew me to this movie first and foremost, was I was like, oh, she's in it? Sold. I want this movie on my list.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have Emma Stone, who's awesome at these kind of movies. I mean, you saw her in Poor Things. She's incredible at this dark, almost disturbing kind of humor, I guess.
Yeah.
It's humorous, but it's also uncomfortable. She's brilliant at it. And I know she turned down a role in Greta Gerwig's Little Women for this role. So I know that that was probably a hard thing to turn down. But looking at the difference between the movies, I feel like this part for Abigail is exactly the right choice for her. Glad she did that.
What's your final thoughts on this movie?
Final thoughts. Okay. I thought that this movie was exactly what I thought it was going to be going into it. And also some really delicious, surprising things that I was like, oh, we're going there, are we? Okay, I love this. They took a lot of, again, a lot of creative license. And then to point out the symbolism with the rabbits, I love that, the 17 rabbits symbolizing the 17 children that she lost, and seeing the depth of that pain and grief that she was going through. When you saw kind of all the layers of Queen Anne's character.
Yes.
I love bringing the rabbits in for that. And rabbits, just in a general sense, the symbolism of fertility and renewal and rebirth, kind of almost felt like a joke. Felt kind of like a wanting to reinvent yourself, but totally failing at the same time, was sort of the idea that I got there, where it was like, yes, this is a new start for you, but instead of a new start, we're just going to go back to the same old reoccurring patterns that keep you stuck. And with Queen Anne's health, physically, gout being an accurate portrayal of Queen Anne and the suffering that she went through, but also the emotional pain and coping mechanisms that she tended to continue on. She seemed helpless most of the time, and therefore giving her power away to those that could come in and really just take it and run with it.
Absolutely. I'm going to put this out here for the freaks. I want to ask you, freaks, who are you in this story? Are you Anne, craving love? Are you Sarah, powerful but maybe too rigid? Or are you Abigail, reshaping yourself to climb out of this darkness? Here's the real one, though. Here's the real question for the freaks. Have you ever chased being the favorite in a room that would never fully love you back? That's deep. Think about that.
Ooh, very much so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've all been there, but let's talk about it, freaks.
You? What do you think, Blane? Where do you fit in those three dynamics? The three goddesses, so it were, if they all represented an archetype.
I think for me, I've got Abigail in me because I feel like I'm always climbing out of the dirt, whether I am or not. I like to always not get settled. I like to just try to be the next best thing I can. So I always think I'm down there in the muck and the mire with people, maybe just myself, but I know I'm not. But I try to do that so I can. So I think that would probably be. I mean, I'm sure it's a mix of all of them, but Abigail the most. What about you? What about you?
Well, I was thinking at first, I probably resonated with Queen Anne the most when watching this. I think there's a lot of me that's like, I just want to be liked, and I don't really care how things get done, and I'll just listen to people smarter than me, and just kind of, I don't know, getting by is kind of how I see that. But you know what I'd really love is to see the backside of that era, backside of my Queen Anne era, and move into more of a. I think what I'd like to see myself more as is the Sarah Churchill character in the beginning.
Yeah,
taking responsibility, taking my power, feeling that quiet confidence that I'm just who I am and I'm doing what I think is right. Let's go for it.
This movie right here vibrates on a frequency about power and validation. Being chosen can feel intoxicating. Let's be real. Like when I'm chosen for anything, you get a high. Let's say we put a clip out from this and it gets 100,000 views. That's intoxicating. We were chosen. We love that stuff. But then again, is that what we really need to be chasing? Is that inauthentic? Is that not real? That's just heavy. That's some heavy questions.
Yeah.
For us to sit here and think about, but that's what we do here on Parallel Frequencies. Freaks, hit us up in the comments. Let us know what you think. Until next time, we'll see you on the other side.
All right.